Hey, welcome to Chris JRS. My name is Chris, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 non-baby baby items. So what do I mean by non-baby baby items? Well, these things are not necessarily meant for babies, but they can help in the first few years. They're not really essential products, but they're just nice to have around. Even if you don't have kids, they can still be useful to you anyways. Lately, people have been having babies, and I'm one of them. My son, he's 2 now, so I'm practically an expert in baby stuff. So I thought I would share 5 things that I've found useful in the first few years that my son's been around that I haven't seen on any other lists online. If you're having or had, or know someone that's having or had a baby recently, then these are some things that you can probably consider picking up, and you won't find these in any baby store, probably not. But I will leave links down below if you are interested, so you can take a look there. These are in no particular order. The first 2 do go together, and they might be a little bit controversial, so I'll start with this. I do have an alternate to it, in case you might think, well, that's too crazy for me. There is an alternate. So the first item on my non-baby baby item list is a smart assistant. So this is just a Google Home Mini. Any smart assistant can work fine. Now, when smart assistants first came out, I didn't see much use in them. I just thought, hey, I could probably just use my phone for everything I was gonna do anyways. And I got this for free for signing up for something. I'm not sure, I forget what it was. Yeah, but I was just asking it the weather. I think that's what most people ask it, is what the weather is. And it does answer generally fine. And I was asking it some rather random questions here and there. But it wasn't until my son was born that I actually started finding a little bit more use for it. Even without having kids, you can find use with them as well. There were some things that I didn't really know that it could do. I knew you could have it play music, so I do have it connected to my Spotify, which is something that my son likes. So we don't like having him watching too much TV because, you know, they say too much screen time isn't good. So, you know, when he's just playing whatever, we'll have music playing in the background. So you just tell it, hey, play Cocomelon, or hey, Disney playlist or something, or hey, play Rick Astley, I don't know. And he usually likes hearing music. Now sometimes I don't want to be on my phone around my son, because if he sees me on my phone, then he's gonna come running over and wants to take it, because that's what they do. So I usually have it out of reach from him, but then it's out of reach from me. So if I want to know something, I'll quickly ask Google. So it does benefit me as well in having it around. So another feature that I found useful in having an assistant here, at least the Google Home Mini, is that it has the white noise feature. Now my son is one of those babies that likes having white noise play while he sleeps. So he's kind of like me, where I like having noise in the background. I used to sleep with a fan on, or a TV, or some music with a timer on. When he was about 2 or 3 months old, he was crying one night and he didn't want to sleep. So I thought babies like white noise, so let me try seeing what happens if I put white noise on. So I went in the kitchen, I turned the range fan over the stove on, and I stayed with him there for about 5-10 minutes, and he was like out after that. Anytime he wanted to sleep, we would just go stand in the kitchen and play this white noise, and it would calm him down and he would fall asleep pretty fast. So we decided to get an actual white noise machine, and we did get one for babies. I turned that on for him and it didn't even really work. It was so quiet, like he could barely even hear, I could barely even hear it. I don't know if it was loud enough for him, maybe, I don't know, but he didn't really seem to care for it. So then one day I just said to Google, hey, play white noise, and she did, and it was loud, it was pretty loud. And play white noise. So that wasn't even full volume, but it was pretty loud. Now I actually use this to sleep with now because I like hearing that noise. My wife is one of those weird people who don't like noise while sleeping. She likes silence. So if you don't have kids and you like noise, then it is a good option as well for you. It does play for 1 hour, and then after 1 hour it goes quiet and then it starts back up again. So in that short, maybe 5 seconds, a baby can probably wake up if they hear no noise. he has before, but usually it comes back on fast enough where it doesn't bother him that much. But after 12 hours, it does cut off completely. So if your baby sleeps longer than 12 hours, then after the 12-hour mark, then yeah, it'll shut off. It's a little bit of a downside. Usually my son falls asleep within the first hour of it, maybe first 2 hours. So he doesn't really sleep longer than 10 hours anyways anymore, so it's fine. Now I know I said that this could be controversial because some people don't want to have a smart assistant in their house because they're always listening. I understand. I was like that in the beginning. I didn't really feel comfortable with having it. I don't know why. Now I have 3 of them, so yeah, whatever. So, but there is alternates to this. Now, one thing you can do is just pick up a Bluetooth speaker. This is just a cheap one that I have that I just listen to music while I'm working out sometimes. And you can connect, obviously, whatever music you want to a Bluetooth speaker. You can play white noise off of this. Now, this won't tell you what's it won't answer questions because it's just a speaker. So you can use your phone for that, and that's just an alternate for this. Now, so the second item on my list that goes together with the smart home, the smart assistant, are smart lights. Now these are just singlet element lights bulbs that I got off of Amazon. It comes with 2 bulbs and a hub. Now I got this maybe 2 years ago, before my son was born, when we got the smart assistant, just to make use of the assistant. We got smart lights. Now it is cool to have, so you can turn on off lights without having to walk up to a lamp. If you live like somewhere like I live, when I walk into my place, there's 4 switches by the main entrance. There's the foyer, the kitchen, the upstairs and downstairs, but there's nothing for the living room, the place that I want to go. So everywhere else is lit up except for living room. So I have to walk over to the lamp and click the lamps on, which not a big problem because that's what I was doing prior to this, but this just made it a lot easier. You just walk into the house and just say, turn on lights, and the lights are on. Now, I don't have it set up here. I do have it set up somewhere else, but this is how it works. Turn on lights. Now these bulbs are just the on, off, and dimmable bulbs. They're not really the party lights that change color, and didn't really see a point in that for right now. At least with just the baby and with just us, we just wanted to turn on and off. Maybe later on we'll get the party lights. Now for a baby, you're wondering what are these good for? Well, like I said, if you walk into your house and it's dark and you have your baby, you're holding baby and you can't find your switch, or you had to walk over to a lamp and turn it on, you could just say, hey, turn on lights, and lights are on while you're there. Now for me, if I was coming through my back entrance, then there is no switch close by, so it also comes in handy. Another reason why I do like this for baby use is if babies have trouble sleeping, you can dim your lights down to say about 10%. So it's a really dim lights and it kind of mimics a sunset. There are studies or so that say that having babies in a dimmer lighting, it can help with the sleeping, even for adults as well. Now, if you are an adult and you don't have kids, whatever, and you dim your lights, then that could help you sleep. But if you're sitting there with dim lights and you have a TV and like a laptop or some kind of screen device on, then it kind of defeats the purpose. So you would just rather sit there in the dim lights just doing nothing, or maybe read a book, I don't know. But I don't really use it for that purpose anymore. We mainly used this for when my son was like a newborn. Right now he probably would be like, bro, why is the lights off for? Because he doesn't really care. But baby wise, like newborn, yeah, it's good for that. So an alternate to having a smart light, if you don't want to have a smart assistant, is you could get a dimmer switch for your lights, which just dims your switches. That's to get dimmer, and there are lamps already that have dimmer switches that you can do, so that already solved that problem. But if you wanted to have something that turns on and off your lights without you actually walking up to it, you could get a clapper. Clapper's been around for a long time. You just go and then it's done. Your lights are on or off. Now if you do have a baby and your baby's sleeping, it might be a little bit annoying for your baby for you to be clapping everywhere. But that is an option if you don't want to have a smart assistant and having a smart home. So the third item that I have on my list here, it's good for the summertime, or if you live in a place that's warm constantly, is a hand fan Now this one is just this is a BT21 hand fan. That's a van, so this is a van fan. I have a little stand here so you can make it into a desktop fan. It is just connected through micro USB to charge it. It has 3 settings and it's pretty good. Now, if a baby's in a stroller in the summertime, it can, I'm assuming, get hot in there. I haven't sat in one in a while, but it seems like it can be hot in there. So what I do is I will open up the top vent on his visor and I will put this on top of it and just have some airflow going through, or I will sometimes have it in front of him like that. Now there are specific fans that you may see for stroller fans, and those are fine. But what I like about the hand fan is that when you're done with stroller age, then I guess you can use that as a desktop fan maybe, but this you can at least continue using throughout later on, and they can even use it themselves. Now on the box of this, it did say it's 14 plus, because I'm assuming a baby could probably put their finger through here. It is kind of small. I'm not sure, maybe a baby can fit their finger through there. I don't think it would chop off their finger. It might give them a slight annoyance, and it's going doop, 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 something like that. Might hurt them a bit. But there are also bladeless fans as well that look like a Dyson. Those ones are pretty cool. If a baby got their hand stuck in there, the worst that could probably happen is their hand might get cold. I'm not sure. But you know, I like this one. It's, even when my son's not around, I use it for myself. You know, like if you're walking and you just kind of, nice. So I think hand fans are pretty useful. Now the 4th item on my list is one of these things. This is just a flexible arm. Now the main use for this is you would attach it to a surface like that, and you can kind of do this. And phone. You can get a phone here and just jam it in there like that. And you can sit back and you can, this one's kind of loose right now because I had a lot of use of it. Kind of position it like that. You know, sit back. You know, your baby can do this too. Your baby can sit at a desk and look at the phone like this, or however you want to do it. So this is probably good for like toddler age, when you are, like, say at a shopping or something and they're in the stroller and like it's been a long time and they're getting bored and like, you know, like they're just getting restless. So you give them your phone. Give them your phone. You know, they'll have your phone. They'll be watching your phone, blah blah. And then like 20 minutes later, you notice that they're sleeping and you don't have your phone because they threw it out the stroller. So this is good. You know, you can attach your phone to that, attach to your stroller, and they can watch. Like I said, they say not too much screen time, so a baby newborn won't even care for this, but toddlers, once they would discover what TV is, then yeah, they're gonna want this a lot. You can also attach it to a car seat for long drives, or, you know, if you don't want to get an actual car screen, you can get one of these, just attach that, maybe for shorter drives. I also do use this for my hand fan. So when I have it attached, when I have it on the top of the stroller, I will just put this in here like this. It's a little bit loose right now, but I'll put it there like that, and I'll kind of configure it away so it stays there, so it's not, so the fan isn't sliding around everywhere. It just kind of stays on top. Or I'll put it in front if he wants it in his face. So that's another option as well for a use for one of these things. And the 5th product on my non-baby baby item list is a hand vacuum. This is just a Ryobi. Any hand vacuum can do the job. These are just good for little messes, because you're gonna have a lot of messes actually. Especially if you're in a car, if your baby's in the backseat of a car, you give them some kind of snack, and yeah, it's gonna be everywhere. So this is good just to, you know, you don't have to keep getting a big vacuum out and vacuuming up the back, or having to go to the gas station all the time. You can just do this every few days or so if you want, unless it's a bigger mess. It's also good to have at home because, you know, there's always gonna be a mess. And you don't have to keep, like I said, don't have to keep bringing out the big vacuum just for some kind of small messes all the time. But like I said, any hand vacuum is good, and this one is just good enough for just taking on the road with us if we need it, or just having it just upstairs, just hidden away somewhere. I do think a hand vacuum is something that you should have if you don't already have one. I also use this on myself as well because I'm always like spilling things everywhere, so that comes everywhere. So those are my 5 non-baby items. So let me know what you think. Do you have any recommendations? Maybe I'll do a part 2 if I have some more that I can add to the list. Alright, so just end things there. You know what to do. Everything should be down below. Like or dislike, click the notification bell if you're into that kind of thing. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you are new to the channel, then check out my first video just so you'll get a feel of what this channel is about. I will leave a link in the end cards. Until then, I'll talk to you guys later and have fun.